Hi boys and girls. If you have known Mrs. Walker for any length of time, you know that one of my favorite activities for this time of year is to cut out paper snowflakes. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take some time here to create some paper snowflakes. And Mrs. Walker has made a little template here to kind of simplify it for us. 6-sided is what a realistic snowflake is. You can easily make an 8-sided one by just folding paper, but I thought we'd try to make a 6-sided one. So you're going to use your template, and the first fold is just, if you look at the directions, it says follow these 5 steps to make your own 6-sided snowflake. Number 1 says fold. I don't know if you can see that, but number 1 is to fold right there along the middle. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fold it, and we have to be able to see these words, so don't fold it this way where you can't see the next steps. Make sure that you put the steps on the outside so you can see what you're going to do next. Okay, so I'm going to try to get it as close to this little line as I can, and then take my fingernail or a pencil if I don't have fingernails and smooth that out. Okay, now the second step says number 2, fold here, so we're going to fold along this line. So in order to be able to see it, if I fold this way I won't be able to see my next direction, so I'm going to flip it over, make sure I can see the words fold number 2 or 2 fold. And then I'm going to try to line up the bend or the fold with that dotted line or dashed line. And again, take your pencil or your fingernail and crease that line. Then the third fold is right here. And I know that this one, when I fold it, it should kind of fold right over the edge of that one. And it should line up, this edge here should line up with that edge. So see where it says 3 fold? When I crease this, it should just bend over the edge of this one I just did and line up with this other folded edge. Okay, and that's how you want that to look. So I'm going to go ahead and crease it. Should look kind of like this. Should have the word 3 fold here and then have 2 flaps that look kind of similar there. And when you flip it over, it shows you your 2 cuts you're going to make. Okay, so next thing is to do number 4, which is to cut, and we're going to just cut along that solid line. Cut right on the line, and then cut on, or I like to cut just inside the line because I don't want that to be on my snowflake, so I'm going to cut just under that line. I actually can see a little bit of this one, so I'm going to take a little bit more off of here because I don't want to be able to see that at the end. Okay, now those, obviously all your scraps are going to go in the garbage. Now we're ready to start cutting out the shapes, and you want to be sure that you're cutting along a fold line. So I have a fold line here and a fold line here. This top part right here, kind of all these open up. You can see they're all open. If I open them like this, I almost can look down inside. It almost looks like an ice cream cone if you look at it from the side, like it's like a cone inside there. I don't want to cut on these top 2 edges. I just want to cut into the folded side. So this has 2 folds and this has 1 fold. Those are the folded sides. So sometimes I try to actually cut out a recognizable shape, but other times I just cut out shapes to see what will happen. So I'm just going to go in, and then I'm going to stop, turn my scissors around, and go back out the other side. Okay, I don't ever want to go all the way across. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come in, I'm actually following my top edge, but I don't want to touch this other shape. I don't want to cut into that shape, so I'm going to stop, turn my scissors around, and go back out. Okay, so I've made 2 cuts in. I'm going to keep doing that along this folded line. Now I don't want to cut off all the fold. I want to leave some fold. So I have a little bit of fold here. I'm going to leave a bit of a fold there. Let's see, I think I'm going to make the shape of a heart. I'm going to do a half of a heart on this side. And then I think I'll do a half of a heart on this side. So I'm just going to go in, curve around, round, and then come back out kind of at a downward angle. So if you look at this shape right here, do you see how that looks like half of a heart right there? When I unfold that, it should unfold and make a heart. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, I do this to almost all of mine, at the very tip here I like to put a little diamond shape. So I cut in, and then I cut in like that, and what it'll do is it'll make a little star in the center. So I almost always do that because I like the star in the middle. You can see this isn't quite a star, but kind of a star. If you look at most of mine, I have this kind of star type shape in the middle. That's because of that diamond. Now I didn't do it with this one or this one, but let's go ahead and see how this turned out. Okay, we're ready for the great reveal. This is Mrs. Walker's favorite part. Move some of these things so we can see. I love this part when you open it up and see what you've got. Okay. So there's my hearts. They're starting to appear. Everywhere I did that half heart shape is going to turn into a whole heart. And ta-da! So I have 6 hearts because it's a 6-sided. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. And when you glue this down, Mrs. Walker is going to give you a piece of paper to glue it down onto. Do you see where you can still see some of my steps and directions? There's number 3, number 2. You want to put the glue right on this side so that when you glue it down, that goes away, right? So when I glue this onto my solid paper, I want to make sure I'm putting glue over top of those words. Okay, so this is a little reminder to you so that you don't end up with all your direction words showing. Put your glue right over top of the words, and then when you flip it over to glue it down, we won't be able to see them because they'll be stuck between this piece of paper and your other piece of paper. Okay, so Mrs. Walker will give you a piece of paper to put yours on so that we can all kind of really see it better. You can put it however you think it looks best. I'm going to put mine like this. And now you can't see my words, right, because they're tucked away in between the gluey sections. Okay, the last step I need to do to make sure that I get credit for this is to put my name and class code. So sign your name. Mrs. Walker likes to sign her name with my thumbs up signature. But I want you to print your name and your class code so we can read it real neatly. Okay? All right. Have a great day.